I'll start with you. Obviously a tough loss, but can you talk a little bit about that game and the kind of game it was? It's a bit of back and forth. Both teams really kind of like didn't have any give in them. Can you talk a little bit about it?
I think it was like two teams fighting for a playoff spot. That's what it was. It was tough fought. I think it was like a highly competitive and quality game, and it showed both teams, I guess, wanting the win. That's what it come down to. Is, as I said, two good teams fighting for a playoff spot.
You talked last week about being more locked in defensively. Obviously, first quarter gave up 28 points, but I felt like the defense kind of got a little bit better throughout the game. Did you see any improvements in that area?
Just what you exactly said. The first quarter set it up. Well, we weren't locked in. Individual, like scout, like yet again, our attention to detail and what we wanted to do scheme-wise, individually-wise, we just didn't do in the first quarter, and that set up the tone of the game. I'm proud of the girls for their fight back and how we played out the second, third, and fourth. But like our start to the game was inexcusable again.
With this loss, the road to making finals obviously gets a little bit tougher. But what's the message to the group heading into such a short turnaround, traveling to Geelong?
Yeah, short-term memory. We just got to move on from this and get ready for Geelong. It's like we can't moan and bitch about what just like happened. We need to move on and think about Geelong and get ready for that.
With the last play in regulation, was that something that was meant to go for, like, was that play meant to go to Nods at the end there?
Yep.
Jade, I'll talk to you for a bit. Can you talk about the effort of the team? Like, obviously a little bit short-handed, but played, a tough game overtime. And really came down to like maybe the last 20 seconds of that game.
Yeah, I'm proud of the group. You can't fault really like anyone's effort tonight. Like God said, it was two teams that won a playoff spot, and the want-to was there. Everyone got after it, and I couldn't. I can't fault anyone's effort. I can't fault anyone's energy on the court. Like when everyone came in tonight, like they tried to do their job. Unfortunately for us, it was just two familiar mistakes, letting them have 28 points in the first quarter, letting someone like Shanice Swain get comfortable in the first quarter, just like things that we've kind of harped on all year, unfortunately, like when it came down to it kind of, bit us a bit. So, yeah, I can't fault anyone's effort, but I'm also, pretty shattered. But at the end of the day, you can't get too disappointed. We've got a game on Saturday and there's still an opportunity to make finals. So although it gets a little bit tougher, it's still there.
At the start of Shanice had I think 19 points at halftime. At the start of the third quarter, you took her on that defensive matchup. Is that a matchup? Was that planned, or was that a matchup that you wanted to take?
I wanted to take it. Swaney's a great player, and I love a challenge, and I just wanted it. I felt like I could be a bit more physical with her, so I decided to take that matchup. She's crafty, she's still going to find ways to score, and then we put length on her at the end with Nars, and I thought her getting up the floor on her, especially when Swaney was starting to get a little tired, but a good player like Swaney, she's going to continue to find ways to score and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely wanted that matchup, and at times I wanted to try and get in her head a little bit, but at the end of the day, when she got open looks, she knocked them down, and credit to her.
With a player like Swaney, what is a player like that who has the ball practically like the entire game, everything in their offense runs with them, like what makes that such a tough matchup for you guys?
I think for us it was just like obviously it was no secret we face guarded her, and it makes it a tough matchup, but at the end of the day too, we let other people get way too involved. So sure, we had to put our attention on Swaney, but at the end of the day, like Celeste Taylor had 22 points, so it's about them filling gaps on her, and credit to her, she found gaps when we were denying Swaney and didn't have nail help. Kayla George had 14, Talia had 11, so they're the people that got into double figures, but we let another person drop 20 on us where we could have easily just maybe watched a little bit more film and kept her out of the middle, because that's where she killed us. So it's just little things that we have to get better on, and if we want to make a push in these next 3 games, we've got to take care of that.
Heading into the last 3 games of the season, is the confidence of the group still high that this finals is still a reachable and attainable goal?
Yeah, there's still belief in the group. There's still confidence high. At the end of the day, we pushed a great team in Sydney who is just as hungry as us into overtime. Tonight, I think the fans got money worth for their ticket. It was an unbelievable game. It was great. I wish we finished it off in regulation because we had every opportunity to miss free throws, miss layups, and blow-bys killed us in the end, and we'll neaten that up. But the belief's still there. We're a young group. We love to have fun. We love to go out there and compete. So we clean a few things up, and we've got every opportunity to beat 3 really good teams. So why not?
Yeah, Coach, first question. The game really turned at 4 missed free throws. How did you feel as you got towards that point where you were just going to go on overtime? Thinking about those missed opportunities.
You can't think about what happened. You got to be able to move on very quickly. So we can't. Yeah, they hurt us. They definitely hurt us. Was the telling factor of the game, but you can't worry about that in the moment. You got to have next play mentality and move on.
From your perspective, how did you feel about the performance and the effort the team put in overall? I know from the sidelines watching, it looked like it was a great performance by the team.
Yeah, as I said, I was disappointed with our lack of execution from our scout perspective in the first quarter. After that, I said to the girls over the change room, and I know the word gets thrown around easily, but I'm super proud of their effort tonight in playing in a playoff style game with a young team. Super proud of their effort and how they hung in there. There were certainly times there where we could have just thrown in the towel, and we didn't. We competed hard. Just at the end of the game, some execution part, giving up way too many offensive rebounds, blow-bys, hurt us at the end.
Jade, we talked a few days ago about this game, and one of the things you mentioned was some of the younger players like Indy Valier and they stepped up at certain clutch points and really delivered. How did you feel about those performances that they brought in?
Yeah, we've said it in a couple of conferences now, and I've said it to the media a couple of times, but between Indy, Mon and Katie, they've really turned a corner, especially in 2025, in their confidence, their habits, the way they approach things, and at the end of the day, they're kids. They're learning in this league. It's a bit rich for me calling them kids, but they're young and they're learning all these habits. And really, it's all 3 of their first year as rostered players. And just to see the growth of them, Katie D will annoys me at practice every day. Mon and Indy go at each other, and everyone's continuing to work. You see Indy putting up doing extra reps in weight room. Katie's putting up extra shots before practice. It took a little bit of work and Goz teaching them some professional habits, but they've been fantastic and they come in and step up in big moments. Indy hit a massive 3 tonight. Katie is always a pest, so couldn't be prouder of the 3 of them, and they're going to continue to work and be big contributors for us.
Yeah, I was going to say Katie really worked on both ends of the court. What was it from your perspective in terms of Katie's performance today? I mean, she dropped a couple of threes that were really at the right time. How did you feel about it?
Yeah, Katie's great, and she comes in and you kind of know what you're getting from Katie every game. She comes in, she's consistent, she kind of harasses the opposition's best ball handler, best player. She accepts every assignment and gives it 100%. So she knocks down the shot. I think she's shooting the ball at a pretty good clip. So when the ball's in her hands, it's a pretty good chance of going in. So she's reliable for us. She's such a force off the bench, and she's continuing to get better and better as well. So it's really cool to see.
And finally, Coach, it got a bit scrappy at different points through the game. Did you put that down just frustration on the fact that it was just so constantly close and just switching back and forth that everybody on the floor was just looking to try and find that extra?
Yeah, I think probably everyone trying too hard. Yeah, and knowing what was at stake. Both teams know what was at stake, and a huge result on the end of it. So I think that just a little bit of the physicality, but a little bit of everyone trying their best and trying a little bit maybe too hard at times.
Jade, I've got one last question. The Cavs have gone through some lean years, the past couple of years, but now we're playing meaningful games late in the season, heading into February. How much fun are you having out there on the court?
Yeah, it's so fun. Playing games that actually mean something in January is a bit different for me, and I came out there tonight and just absolutely enjoyed every minute. You know, I was shattered at the end because this game, you know, had a bit more on the line than usual. So yeah, when you walk out in an overtime loss, it's pretty disappointing. And you know, that's the thing. Everyone gave it their best effort. We got in the locker room and it was just like, you just could tell that everyone kind of wanted it as bad as each other. So yeah, to be playing this kind of basketball, I think super important with this group, just giving people, even though it's not a final, it's a finals environment. The crowd was great tonight, and just being in these environments is just so good for us. A young team getting experience like this is cool, and it's only going to help us and, you know, give us good stead going in the future.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.